is the big news that came out today that made some Giant fans pretty little ticked off there. And that's the fact that the tampering cases have been closed. The Falcons lose a pick, but the Eagles are 100% cleared in the Saquon Barkley tampering case there. And I'm calling BS. I'm calling BS, though, with an asterisk. Because to be very frank, I don't care if they tampered. I don't care. I just wanted them to lose a draft pick because I hate the Eagles. Be very clear that the rules on tampering are the dumbest freaking things ever. So for those who may have forgotten the rules, because free agency was a couple of months ago, you got the first 2 days is what they call the legal tampering period, that you're allowed to talk to the agents and such of players that are going to be available on, when the legal tampering is over and actual free agency begins. So you can start talking to the agents and getting all this stuff squared away as far as details in the contract, have it ready to go. So that way the second free agency opens up, you can just, here you go, you sign. And obviously handshake agreements are made at that time period as well. So that's how we know people are going to be signing elsewhere during that tampering period. So that's what this is all about, is they're saying that Saquon Barkley had talked to the Eagles when he wasn't supposed to. They're all saying that Kirk Cousins and others talked to the Falcons when they weren't supposed to. The NFL statement here on the Eagles said, after a thorough review of the Philadelphia Eagles signing of Saquon Barkley, the NFL today informed the club that the investigation did not discover sufficient evidence to support a finding that the anti-tampering policy was violated. In coming to this conclusion, the league reviewed phone logs, text messages, and other documents related to Philadelphia's free agent strategy and decision to sign Barkley. The NFL also interviewed several members of the organization, including Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni, as well as Barkley and Penn State head coach James Franklin. As with every review, should new evidence be uncovered, the league may reopen the investigation. So yeah, BS all around, guys. Let me just put this into perspective here for you guys. Let's say Rob, I was going to call you up. Now, would it be against rules somewhere and get me in trouble if someone found out that you and I were talking about it? Is it very difficult to delete that phone call off your phone log?
Oh, so easy. Actually, I don't know how to do it. But the text, yes.
But that's what I'm getting at. And again, I don't care because the Giants do it too, I'm sure. Every team does it.
Every team does it. The biggest takeaway from that as well is Barkley almost admitted on an Eagles podcast, in the Kelsey's podcast, that they were talking to him.
Yeah. And the whole issue actually even started because we mentioned before, James Franklin, the head coach for the Penn State football team there, he told reporters that Roseman's pitch to Barkley included pointing out the number of Penn State fans that were also Eagle fans. In other words, saying that Roseman pitched that to Barkley directly. And that's what started the whole thing. Hold on a second. He wasn't supposed to talk to him at this time period. Have this happen. So I don't get how they got out of it there, but it's hard to prove is what it boils down to.
Yeah, pretty much what it is.
Much that they think they didn't do it. They probably do think they did it, but you can't prove it. That's where it's really at there. The key part, what they said is, did not discover sufficient evidence.
Yes.
That's not to say they found no evidence. That's not to say they didn't find anything leaning towards that as a possibility, but it's like a murder trial. You have to prove it with it beyond the shadow of a doubt. And it's hard to do that in that scenario there. So again, I don't care. We didn't even offer Barkley a contract. People were acting as if the Eagles swooped down and took a player the Giants wanted really badly. We didn't offer him a contract. We wanted him gone. We beat him to the ground like a rented mule the last couple of years. Let's be honest here. That's what we did.
Yeah. That was a guy play all those snaps. Give him all that time. Beat him before he gets hurt. And you expect him to play great, constantly, consistently?
Yeah.
Granted, he was the face of our franchise for pretty much the time he was here.
Yeah, and listen, we appreciate everything he did. We're not trying to we're not trying to kick the guy on the way out, but it was very obvious with the playing percentages he had, how little we used the backup running backs the last couple of years, that the Giants were planning on using what they could and then letting him go.
How many Giants fans remember who our second string run back was the past few years?
Yeah. Not a lot, probably. Not a lot. He's still a free agent, by the way.
Yeah.
And it probably still will be. Probably his career's over.
So enough.
The Falcons were found guilty, so we should go over that, even though it's not Giants related, but just as kind of related to the topics, we'll go over that real quick. So they for improper contact with Kirk Cousins, along with 2 other free agents as well. The team will forfeit next year's 5th-round pick, and they're having to pay a $250,000 fine. Falcons GM Terry Fontenette also has to pay a $50,000 fine as well. The NFL statement on that was, while the policy permits clubs to engage with and negotiate all aspects of an NFL player contract with the certified agent of any prospective unrestricted free agent during the 2-day negotiating period, any direct contact between the player and an employee or representative of the club is prohibited. This includes discussion of travel arrangements or other logistic matters, which the club acknowledges took place with these 3 players. So, yeah, again, I'm telling you right now, I can guarantee you almost every negotiation an agent has is that what they're doing is they're going ahead and putting the phone on speaker, and the players writing down responses to the agent to act like they're not in the room, basically. I guarantee what's going on. Or they're on 3-way calls that you can hide on at least the phone records of somebody at that point. They're somehow doing it. Like, it's all ridiculous. I mean, if it's like, you have the video calls and stuff like nowadays. Like, what are you gonna check my Zoom records now? Like, it's stupid. I guarantee you every single team's doing it. Here's the really messed part.
What do you want me to say? What do you say, Drew? I don't know if that's true or not. What? Huh? I don't know. There's no one over here, Drew.
Well, I'm saying, like,
yeah,
keep them off camera. That's all there is to it. It's like, but I'll put it this way though. I think even the NFL knows that it's a BS rule, because look what they gave him, a 5th-round pick they have to give up. If you're telling me that I can talk to Kirk Cousins and get, I know he's not the greatest quarterback, but I got the best quarterback in free agency at a position I desperately needed a quarterback at. So desperate I got 2 because I drafted one in the 1st round like a moron. But I got the best quarterback available in free agency because I talked to him before I was supposed to. And I had to give up a 5th-round pick. Who cares?
It's nothing. In the grand scheme of things, you get a good player, but you know what you got in Kirk Cousins, and you know that's what you need to improve this team.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't think the Falcons are that upset either. $250,000 fine is nothing to them. A $50,000 fine for their GM is nothing. He found that in his couch cushion real quick. I mean, like, that's nothing.
Oh, this is just my spending money.
Me or you, like, oh goddamn, we're screwed now. Like,
yeah,
I guess we're eating saltine crackers and ramen noodles for the next couple of years. But
like, he pulls out his vest pocket. So here's my spending money, guys. Sorry.
I just can you break this bill?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. Like I said, you got to read between the lines there, and you can tell they don't actually want to do it either. So.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.